Oh, this video? It's sponsored by Squarespace.
Hello Internet, Taliesin here, and today we are talking World of Warcraft, The War Within. In my opinion, an expansion with one of the strongest opening patches in World of Warcraft expansion history. The gameplay philosophy of Dragonflight combined with the storytelling vibes of Legion, making for a pretty delightful mix in of itself. But you put Zali toes in there too, and we are talking the perfect game, and the more toes there are, the more perfect it is. But we're not here to talk about how good The War Within is. Oh, toes, oh no, because this video is all about the things you absolutely hate about the expansion. And when I say hate, I don't mean the stupid meaningless things like, oh, the class tuning is bad, or the servers keep kicking me out and I can't play the game I pay for, or Mythic Plus is too hard. No, I'm talking about the big important stuff, the shit that actually ruins your day and makes War Within unplayable and the worst expansion ever. Yeah, I said it. I'm a brave truth teller. I tell it like it is. Stuff like this bench in the Dornegal bank where your player sits on it the wrong way round. Like, seriously, what the f is this? How am I supposed to give this game an ounce of credit when I come into the bank for a nice sit down, but then I'm sitting like this? What is this, Blizzard? What were you even doing? Oh, they fixed this, by the way, and that's why this video is called 9 Things You Hate and not 10 Things You Hate. So join us for 9 things you hate about the War Within, okay? Go, 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 go. Delves. Let's start with the War Within's flagship new feature for the solo player. And I know, you're all expecting me to talk about everyone's favourite third wheel, Bronbeard, in this section, because he used to be a lore character that I kind of respected. But after doing a few hundred of these instances with him, I think it's fair to say Bran is an absolute idiot. But I'm not actually going to hold that against him, because I am also an idiot most of the time, and at least he tries, you know? Like, he cooks, he joins in the fights, he sometimes picks some flowers and mines some ore, and sometimes doesn't, and honestly I don't know what the conditions are for him to do that or not, and that is a bit confusing, but he's putting a shift in, and I can't fault him for that. No, Bran is an okay idiot in my book, but here are the things I do hate about delves. 1. Fungal Folly. This delve is absolute testicles, and not because it's the most annoying entrance to a delve, not because it's full of stupid bouncy mushrooms that send you flying around all over the place, although that too, but because of the ground clutter. I cannot see anything on the floor in this place, which is a bit of a pisser when half of the mechanics in this video game are swirly pools of bad that appear on the floor. So if they are hidden under layers of high density ground clutter, well, I hope you like getting blown up, because if you don't, then you are shit out of luck. This is especially bad in the scenario where you have to channel a crystal on a special mushroom that spews out green swirlies around it that you have to keep moving to avoid, because these are literally invisible through the Fungal Folly foliage of you. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, but Turley, why don't you just turn down ground clutter in your graphics settings and then you'll be fine? To which I say, excuse me. Oh, whoa, back up. I'm a professional gamer, okay? I've got a mouse with a stupid amount of buttons on it. I've got a microphone on a stick stuck to my desk. I rock a 4090 in my hand-built water-cooled PC, and I didn't drop that much of my patrons' money on a Founders Edition just that I could turn the graphics settings down in World of Potato Craft, okay? I am ground clutter 10, ride or die. And if that means in this case it's more die than ride, well, so be it. And also, I hate Fungal Folly. More like not Fungal Folly, am I right? Like unfungal folly. Yeah, that's what I meant. Another thing I hate about delves, the Tricksters in the sinkhole. And look, it's bad enough that I have to remember to buy a water-breathing potion or diving helmet before going into this delve in the first place. That's already an unnecessary level of annoying that this place has over other instances, but then you've got this mob that comes along and it spawns little clones, and so there's always multiple enemies on you when you're fighting them, and they don't have a visible health bar above their heads. I've been trying to pick up a treasure in here for multiple seconds and wondering why I can't before I realise I'm being smacked about by this phantom knobhead. And no, actually, that can F right off. I don't play this game to pay attention to it, okay? I play it to mindlessly and joylessly grind out the stuff I need while half watching YouTube videos that I'm not really interested in on my second monitor. But, oh God, I have to admit that once I did start paying attention to how the Trickster works, it's actually really clever game design. The Trickster spawns the clone, which does have a health bar, and then makes their own health bar disappear. Like, they really do trick you into switching targets to the useless decoy while they sneakily stab you. And yeah, okay, fine, that's really good. Well done. That's actually very interesting and good. But I still hate it though. Dornegal. Straight up, I think Dornegal Dornegal is a genuinely good hub city in an expansion which legitimately has 3 awesome cities in it. I love this little bit where everyone hangs out. I love how unnecessarily wide these paved bits are where the crafting tables are. I love that there's a portal down to Azkahet. Or at least I would if every time I came out of Spider Town and mounted up to soar into the air and get stuff done, I didn't get snared in these spiky chains of annoyingness. Like, seriously, why would you put chains here? What was going on in the town planning meeting where they thought this was a great piece of infrastructure? Like, great work on the hot springs. I'm not going to do the voice. Great work on the hot springs in the middle of town. Fantastic place for our citizens to relax. However, I'm a little bit concerned that there's currently nowhere for them to get decapitated by random strings of rusty metal. Can someone look into that, please? And then some dickhead was like, hey, you know, I just went to Ogrimmar and they've got this great thing where every time you come out of the portal room and take off, you are guaranteed to get snared in some shitty chains, like every time, and put you in a bad mood right away. Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Do that, please. And so they did. Oh, and by the way, they were so busy planning their pissy chains that they forgot to do the tiling properly. And actually, sorry, look, I feel I have to put a major trigger warning here, okay? Because for some of you, what I'm about to show you is going to literally ruin the game for you forever. Because it ruined the game for me. And I'm sorry that I have to be the one to bring it up, okay? But you were warned, and like, sorry, what is this? What is this? I'm not a perfectionist, okay? This is my DK's transmog, but it should not be this hard to line up the center of a repeating floor tile pattern with the center of the stairs, right? Like, what is this? This explains why all the beds in Dornegal Inn are empty, because how can anyone in this city ever sleep when this is what their streets look like? And another thing I hate about Dornegal is the dirigible, the customizable mount that you get for doing delves. Here it is on show outside Delve HQ, or like, here it is, your customizable dirigible, and I cannot tell you the amount of times that I have come here to try and customize my stupid flying machine. And by customize, I mean like swap out 1 or 2 of the 3 different bits that you can actually just swap out. Customize is a pretty strong word when it comes to the dirigible, but this is not where you come to customize the dirigible, is it? No, of course not. Why would this be where you come to customize the dirigible? Why would this pad with the dirigible visibly sitting on it right outside the building dedicated to the content that gives you the dirigible and is also the place where you buy the customizations for the dirigible? Why would this be where you customize it? No, that would be stupid, you idiot, you absolute moron. No, obviously to customize the dirigible, you head to this blank and unsignposted slab of bare concrete with just slightly misaligned paving slabs. It will shock you to learn. In a completely unrelated part of the city. Obviously, you utter cretin. Oh, and obviously the dirigible that's on display outside Delve HQ does not change to reflect your currently selected customizations, because of course it doesn't. Why would it do that? What a stupid idea. You should be ashamed. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Taliesin, all of these things you've pointed out are really bad and more important than class balance for sure, but is that all you've got? So far, this stuff only makes War Within the second worst expansion after Wrath of the Lich King. What have you got to push it into #1 spot, Tally? And I'm glad you asked. Brinthe. I've got to admit, when the Earthen were announced, they seemed about as exciting to me as a new season of The Simpsons, but over the course of the expansion, they have grown on me. I mean, they haven't grown, they're still small, but you know what I mean. All except one, Brinthe, which is insane because Brinthe is objectively the coolest looking Earthen in the game with her Dr. Octopus arms, but the thing I hate so much about the High Speaker herself is her voice.
Under control. The station is in ruins.
All of the Earthen have a slightly robotic cadence to their speech, and that makes sense. The whole point of them is that they are Titan constructs who have been following strict directives for thousands of years, and a huge part of their story arc in the expansion is shrugging off those directives and becoming more independent and individual, and that's great. There are some really brilliant vocal performances in amongst these guys. Adelgon is probably the most expressive of all of them, which makes sense because she's the head of the Unbound, a group of Earthen who long ago turned their backs on the Titan programming.
That takes some courage.
Or faulty programming. We are free, but we did choose to live unprotected. And now, my people suffer again.
I really like Lucella's voice actor too. Brinthe, though, is a different matter.
these outlanders crashed on our shores.
And I want to be clear, I don't blame the actor for this. She's just doing what she's told, and she's doing it great. So I don't know if Brinthe was just one of the first Earthen voices that they recorded, and were all like, be as robotic as possible, before they realised, actually, no, maybe let them be a little bit expressive for all of our sakes. But whatever the reason, Brinthe's line delivery is stilted and machine-like to an absurd, comical degree.
Under control. The station is in ruins.
Which, you know what? Fine, no big deal. Except some genius decided it would be a brilliant idea for Brinthe to give out most of the world quests in the Ringing Deeps. So every time you come out of the waterworks, you get...
Someone didn't get the message. These are earthen resources.
But not only that, I need to go kill a world boss.
Someone didn't get the message.
I need to get to Stone Vault for my weekly +6, plus 12.
These are earthen resources.
I need to get to Hallowfall to chuck some glowy rocks in some lamps or whatever.
Someone didn't get the
It's
message.
like the game needs to remind me at all points just how annoying they decided to make this character's voice. There's no escaping it. She's like an AI that's gone rogue and won't leave you alone.
Someone didn't get the message. These are earthen resources.
She does have cool robot arms though, fair play. The World Track. I love the Great Vault. I love the War Within iteration of the Great Vault. I love that any old scrub like me can now get Vault gear from doing outdoor activities like world quests and delves. But I have a big problem with the World Track that basically renders it unusable and makes me want to burn it with fire. Why does it not keep track of and show you how many world quests and delves you've done? You want to check your progress on Mythic Plus? Hey, you can! It'll show you all the highest keys you've done and leave you in no doubt what you got to do to fill out or improve your vault slot. Likewise with raids. When it comes to delves though, nah mate, you're on your own, just like you will be for the rest of your life. Just do some more, it'll be fine. You don't need a clear and informative list like the other two rows. You're just some scrub who's lucky to even be getting any vault slots at all. Have you thought about that? Yeah? A bit less complaining and a bit more being down on your knees just thanking us that we're giving you any weekly gear at all, so you can have your shitty vague non-list and you can like it. Now go and do another delve. It might give you another vault slot, or it might not. I guess you'll just have to wait and see, because F you, that's why. Oh, and speaking of dungeons, which I don't know, I guess we kind of were.
Hey everyone, Evie here yet again, and today I want to give a special shout out to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video. I bet you didn't see that one coming. Thank you, Squarespace. By now, the Nerubar Palace Race to World First is old news, but the real race, the Race to World First heroic for guilds with a name a bit like Immortalis, also old news because this year's World First title has been taken fairly and squarely by Bit Like Immortalis on OC Bartholus. Congratulations, Bit Like Immortalis, on taking the crown yet again. Now, my love language is making websites on Squarespace, and after seeing that Bit Like Immortalis don't seem to have their own, I thought the best way to celebrate their win was to make them a website on Squarespace, of course. Now, I should clarify that my love language is actually making websites on Squarespace with limited time, so I thought I'd try my hand at the build with AI option rather than choosing a template. I chose a title for the website, appropriate, and a playful vibe, and kind of weirdly, it knew that I was making a gaming related site before I even started, but I'm not gonna dig deeper into that one. I chose a fresh palette and a quirky font pack, and boom! I had a website all ready to build from. First things first, I wanted to give them a unique visual identity that drew directly on our own, so I've given them the hippo header with some easy to make adjustments. Then on to our next section where I've dug deep into the stock image library for this picture of me, of course, throwing confetti. And while we're at it, I'll just fill in this empty space with some positive scrolling messaging. Oh, I've always wanted to do that. And finally, what better way to capture the spirit of victory with this frankly awesome recap video from the last Race to World First that I just happened to find on YouTube and which I can very easily embed with Squarespace's video embedding widget. Want to show some love with your own custom-made website? Just head to squarespace.com/Taliesin, where you, my friend, can enjoy 10% off your first purchase of a Squarespace website or domain, or use code Taliesin if you prefer to do it that way. That's squarespace.com/Taliesin. Now, who should I make one for next?
Shadowlands dungeons. So far, I think it's fair to say that as far as Mythic Plus goes, Season 1 of The War Within hasn't been the most popular on record, mostly because it's too hard. But also because of some weird, I would say unintuitive changes to the levels at which various crests and vault thresholds are dished out, and also because of Grim Butthole. But what I personally hate about Season 1 is something I suspect I'm going to have to convince a lot of you of. So, order in court. Your Honor, members of the jury, I put it to you that War Within made a huge mistake to have Shadowlands dungeons as part of the Season 1 dungeon rotation. Objection, Your Honor! Necrotic Wake and Mists of Turner Scythe are two objectively good dungeons that are amongst the most popular in this season's rotation. The prosecution suggesting that putting two of the best dungeons of the season into the rotation is a mistake is preposterous. Objection sustained. Your Honor, whilst I agree that they are good dungeons, especially Mist, because it's very easy, I put it to you that the reason that this is bad, nay, damaging to the War Within, is because it is just too soon to have Shadowlands dungeons in the rotation. Objection, Your Honor! We are now 2 expansions out from Shadowlands, which is standard for a dungeon's return in Mythic Plus. I didn't hear the defense complain when BFA dungeons were included in Dragonflight Mythic Plus seasons. Sustained. This is true, Your Honor, but I maintain that Shadowlands is a special case. Think about it. It was an expansion that saw the huge drop-off of players that War Within is still trying to rectify even today. You can tell by how much of Blizzard's promotion of the expansion has been based around come back, return to Azeroth, WoW feels like WoW again. Objection! They did that with Dragonflight too. True, but Dragonflight didn't really succeed in bringing people back. With the War Within, finally, WoW is enticing players back in some larger numbers, a huge proportion of whom would have left during Shadowlands. And what do? We say, welcome back, look how much better the game is now. You want to do some Mythic Plus? Awesome, here's some dungeons from that expansion that made you leave the game. Dungeons you were potentially playing for 2 years, and which you associate with the game being bad enough that you effed off and have only been lured back in now. Enjoy! Your Honor, I just think it's a huge oversight to woo players back and then give them the same content they were playing when they decided they didn't like the game anymore. Oh, he's got a good point. I move that these dungeons be encased in concrete and dumped in the North Sea until WoW has 50 million subscribers or whatever. Guilty! What? Blizz is guilty of the thing you said. Get the concrete. 9. Ghosting. I saved the worst for last. The absolute most unforgivable, terrible thing that the War Within does. The reason the expansion is complete trash and worse than that Golem game that I didn't play but which apparently was quite bad. Worse than that. For 20 years, your on-screen quest log would show you active quests with a little number in the circle, which made it easy to see them on the map. Now, though, as part of Blizzard's ongoing UI overhaul, most of which is really good, comes the most triggering change in the history of WoW. Because now, uncompleted quests look like this. And yeah, they all look the same, which is weird enough, okay? This is bad enough, but absolute worst part of this is, why, in the name of medicine, did you decide that the best thing you could make quest icons look like was someone leaving you on red in a messaging app? Did you think this was going to make your players feel good, Blizz? To look at their quest log and instead of seeing a numbered list of achievable goals, make it look like they're being ghosted by 20 separate Tinder dates? Or Hinge, people using Hinge now. Oh yeah, hi, I had a really good time last night. I'd really love to see you again sometime. Oh hey, just checking if you wanted to hang tonight like you said you did, lol. Don't worry if not, just let me know. Hey, me again. I hope you're good. Sorry if I said something wrong. It's just you said you really liked me, so... What were you thinking? For the first time, I am agreeing with chuds on the internet who say they don't want real world shit in their games. Yeah, they mean pronouns and brown people, but I mean this. If I want to see this, I can just open WhatsApp and have a little cry, okay? I do not need to see it in my fantasy roleplay game. I want to be a strong, brave hero. I do not want to be left on red by my own quests. Seriously, Blizz, why are you doing this to me? I hate it. Please. Please change it. Please. And there you have it. 10 things that was then 9 things that I hate about official worst expansion of all time, The War Within. Worst because of these things. But what do you think? What other things do you hate about the expansion? I'm sure there's a few. Let us know in the comments below. And thanks for joining us today. If you like this video, don't thank us. Thank our patrons who give us their actual real life money to make all of our work happen. And seriously, patrons, thank you. Because without you, there would be a whole lot less Taliesin Nevertell. We're bringing back Patreon Q&As this month, so lovely new content for you. Can't wait for that. If you didn't like it, downvote the shit out of it. Remember, my name is Brinthe. No, my name is Taliesin. From me and Evertal. Until next time, cheerio.